Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Movie Deputy Reviews, where we are talking to you today about Zootopia 2. Our review is going to delve a little bit deeper into this one than sometimes we go into, but I feel it's important because of some of the content that is involved in this story. Now, if you are not familiar with Zootopia, it is a world of animals run by animals for animals, basically. I know that kind of sounds silly, but the first Zootopia came out in 2016, and don't worry, I'm not leaving you hanging. That review is still up on moviedeputy.com for a few more days. It's going to be coming live here in this format on Monday, so you're not going to want to miss that. Now, why am I doing them in backwards order? Because I honestly didn't get a chance to get it up until now. And I want to bring this one to you, especially if this is one that you're planning on going to see this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And mind you, there are a lot of just laugh out loud moments in this, and there is a lot of fun to be had. But there's also some very serious things that are happening during the story. And I've also had the pleasure of having two of my posse members, a couple of my kids, one of my biological kids, and one of my kids. I was the neighborhood mom for many years, and so one of my other kids kind of came along too. And I'm going to be sharing with you what they thought about this movie as well. So they share it with me, and I get to share it with you. So it's just going to be a little bit different today than what we go into now. If you are curious, I'm going to start this right off by saying I am giving Zootopia 2 a tentative innocent rating. Now, you're going to want to stick around to find out why I'm giving it a tentative innocent rating, because it's not going to be safe for all audiences because of some of the content. Now, you may be thinking, but it's a Disney movie. It's a cartoon. It's fun. Yes, it is. And like I said, there are a lot of really beautiful, wholesome, sweet, and absolute hilarious moments. But there's also some other content that we are going to be touching on. Now, I want to go ahead and share with you the podcast poster. What we have over here on the side is one of the theatrical posters. And I took that, and I'm going to take that away and bring up the podcast image. And as you can see, I kind of had to shrink it down just a little bit, but I didn't make a whole lot of changes to it. But that's what I did. So I'm going to go back to the regular poster just to make it a little bit easier to follow on that. And let's go ahead and jump in with the review, with the trailer, and then we'll come back to the review, of course.
Welcome to Partners in Crisis. I'm your therapy animal, Dr. Fuzzby. Greg, we talked about that. What are we making Merlin? Uncomfortable. Yes. And Francine, Clark may be a mouse, but he is your partner first. And we have 2 new partners. Can you tell us about your journey to Dysfunction Junction?
Dysfunction Junction. How many of us have family members that this could literally apply to?
Well, we've been official partners for 1 week. Happy anniversary. And we are functioning fine. Better than fine. And we did sort of save the city. So us being here kind of seems like a huge misunderstanding.
Notice how she answered first, did not allow her partner to speak, and taps her foot when she's suppressing discomfort. And observe the source of her discomfort, represented by the disconnected affectation of her emotionally insecure partner. But for
now, as you can tell, this kind of delves into a little bit deeper of the feelings, and it touches on a lot more of the modern day things and triggers, and kind of goes into a little bit more depth of that than some audiences might be comfortable with. So that's one thing to maybe prepare yourself for a little bit.
Now, we begin by greeting our teammate. Okay, unfortunately, Karen has chosen to see Joel's smile as a sign of aggression. Hackles down, Karen. Karen, hackles down.
Karen is an appropriate term, at least for the team that they are talking about, as we have all come to be very familiar with the term Karen as a not very positive name association with people who behave a certain way.
Someone get the hose?
Bunny, Fox! This is a make or break assignment. Fail and I will split you up.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
Hops and Wild?
Wild and Hops. The dream team. Sorry, Paul.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Keep the sticking ring right now.
Stop in the name of the law!
I'm really sorry. No.
Stop pulling my ears! Stop pulling my ears! Never pull up on his ears!
I have to help my family. Cannonball!
You know, this is not your worst idea.
Wow, that was almost a compliment.
Your worst idea is what you did with your ears.
And so, as you can see, that is a lot of fun. Now, no spoilers, you know me, no spoilers ever. But there is a scene there in the trailer that actually does not make the final cut. So I'm sure it will be on bonus features, on Blu-rays or whatever the access this is on. But there was one scene in that trailer that did not make the final cut. So that did kind of surprise me a little bit on there. But so as we kind of get a little bit deeper into the story, we have Judy and Nick back together again. And their whole thing is to solve a case of the snake. And there are no snakes in Zootopia at all. There have not been snakes in Zootopia for 100 years. And so why is this snake back in Zootopia? Well, it has to do with a family legacy. It has to do with a secret. And it has to do with a lot of chaos. There is a book that is kind of a prized possession of one particular group of animals in the movie. And this book is going to determine everything of the expansion of Tundertown. So, but the thing is, what's in the book affects the snake and their family as well. But how does all of this tie together? The thing is that as we saw it in the first movie, or if you're at all familiar with the first movie, there's things that reference The Godfather, and there's things that reference a bunch of other movies. This one does the same thing. You have Hannibal, you have so many other different stories. It references a lot of other classic Disney movies, from The Rescuers and of so many others. It's just, like I said, it is a lot of fun. There are some very questionable scenes. In the background, there is a trans character, which, I mean, there should never be any political type nonsense in kids' movies. These movies are aimed at kids of all ages, but there is no need for content such as that. And to reference what I'm specifically talking about, don't worry, again, no spoilers. In this particular scene, this sheep is getting sheared and into those like perfectly sculpted six-pack. And then something happens and the sheep suddenly is sheared into the shape of like a bikini and tutu. And it's just, the person appears to be a lot happier as a woman than as a man. And it's like, just, okay, I don't need that in a cartoon. And yes, it's a background character, but it's still something that's happening. And then we have characters in here that are, you've got a Fabio type character, which is a little bit over the top, if you get my drift on that, as to the whole everything's fabulous type character. And then you have so many other just things of where it talks about political correctness, not specifically, but in things that it's referencing. And then it's almost anti-capitalism in the way that some of the approach is. And that's kind of becoming a theme with Hollywood as a whole. It's also just, I don't know, it just really kind of pushes the boundaries. I mean, there's characters that are inspired by non-Disney, non-Pixar movies like Rango and like some other things like that you'll also see in here as well. Now, mind you, even with all of that, the base core of the story stays true to the heart of Zootopia and stays true to the heart of the first movie. Now, I do want to say that because I am actually only a quarter point off of my score on the first movie. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil what I gave the first movie. You're going to have to come back and figure that out. But I am giving Zootopia 2 a 7 out of 10 on the deputy scale. Like I said, it has those moments of where things just don't quite fit. It also leads into the fact, or not the fact, but it leads into where the story can expand into another movie. And I'm really hoping that they do, because it actually looks like it could go in a really wonderful direction if they do go that direction. And will also say, if you do go see this, you're going to want to sit through the credits. A lot of people were getting up and leaving. And there is a post-credit bonus scene. Like after all the credits are done and everything's all done listed, there is a bonus scene that is at the very end that you're not going to want to miss. So I always try to make sure and mention that and touch on those things as well. There are a lot of really memorable quotes. There are a lot of really memorable just moments throughout this movie. And like I said, there was literally a moment I was laughing so hard I was snorting. Now, for me, that's embarrassing when I get to laughing that hard. But at the same time, it also shows the entertainment value of this story. So like I said, even though there is some questionable content, which it honestly is at the heart of a 7 out of 10 on the deputy scale, it's watchable, it's memorable, and that the plot has some questionable content. So I really think giving it that score is very true to that. I'm just looking down because I'm grabbing my phone. I'm going to share with you the review that my son had written. He goes, "This is from Jason. I was pleasantly surprised they kept with the original movie's charm and added a similar story for the duo to figure out. I couldn't help but laugh a lot at the jokes meant for adults, and the casting was phenomenal. I would definitely recommend people see this. I give it a 10 out of 10, highly recommended." Or he said, "I will recommend," is how he put it. And then what Alex thought of it, he kept it a little bit simpler. He goes, "Zootopia 2. Great time, full of jokes for the whole family, and a great soundtrack." So he kept it kind of short and simple on there too. Now, that's something else I should definitely touch on for the content of Zootopia 2. There are a lot of jokes aimed at adults. There are a lot of inappropriate jokes for children by far, but that most of them are going to go over right over kids' heads, but adults are going to get them completely. Some of them just kind of left me going, it took my brain, my brain had it glitched. I'm like, oh my word, did they really just say that? Or did they do that? Oh my word, I can't believe. And so, okay, if you were a young kid when the first one came out in 2016, that was 9 years ago. So now you're a young adult. This one is going to be right in line with that. Kind of like when Frozen and then Frozen 2 came out. The Frozen 2 was aimed at basically the kids that had been kids when Frozen came out and how that had kind of grown into the movie for the young adults that they had become. That's kind of what Zootopia has done, though there is still plenty of entertainment for the younger audience as well. So, like I said, it's just a lot of fun, a lot of reminiscent to different movies. I caught so many Easter eggs, and I might end up doing an entirely different program just on the Easter eggs. I haven't decided yet, but I could literally do a program just based on that. Be sure to go over and check out our Movie Deputy store on Etsy over the next couple weeks, because I am going to be putting some Zootopia 2 merchandise up on the moviedeputy.etsy.com. I think it's just moviedeputy.etsy.com, I believe, or it's etsy.com/shop/movie deputy, I think is the other link to get to it. So, or you can just search Movie Deputy Etsy and it will take you right to that. I don't mean to be too confusing on that. I just want to be as thorough as possible. But again, just be prepared if you go to see that this, it does go a little bit woke, but it's not enough that it takes away from the story. It was just some unnecessary content, but the references and the Easter eggs and the other movie references and just the humor throughout more than make up for a lot of it. Just not enough that I could give it just a pure innocent rating, hence the tentative innocent rating. So once again, I am giving Zootopia 2 a 7 out of 10 on the deputy scale. And I am really looking forward to some of the feedback that I get on this one, along with others. And be sure to come back tomorrow because we have another new movie for you. And I will be back soon. Bye-bye. Or wait, I guess I just realized this is Wednesday, so I will have shows up Friday and Saturday for you. And I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving. My brain blanked for a minute. I almost forgot it was Thanksgiving tomorrow. So happy Thanksgiving to all of my friends and family out there and everybody else and all of my fans, of course. But until later, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.